My name is Derek, aka Beat the Sportsbooks. I'm a 24-year-old professional sports bettor, and I have almost $200,000 in gross winnings on the app PrizePicks. And I did this at around a 30% profit margin, meaning I've made almost $50,000 in net winnings on PrizePicks alone. I did all this without watching games, without knowing a bunch of different players, and without watching WNBA all day. I used straight math, statistics, and data to do this, and in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to copy me and beat PrizePicks using odds and statistics. And I know a lot of people like to come on here and say absolutely anything without proof, so to prove to you guys that this number that you see right here is real, I'll go ahead and refresh the page. In fact, I won so much net profit on PrizePicks that last year, they completely banned me, and I can no longer bet more than $5 per slip, $25 per day, and I'll prove that to you guys right now. I'm going to go over to the board, and I'm going to go to a completely random sport. Let's go to soccer, and I will take this first prop, Damian Lowe over 53.5 passes attempted. Then I'll go to the NHL, and I will take Evan Bouchard over his time on ice. I'm going to try to put $10 on this, and watch what happens when I try to submit, guys. It's going to come up and say maximum lineups are $5 right now. I'm going to try the exact same thing with another sport. Let's go to the NBA. Let's take Jalen Williams over his free throws made and Tyrese Halliburton under his points. I'm going to try to put $7 on the slip, hit submit lineup, and as you can see, guys, the maximum lineups are $5 right now. PrizePicks will not take my action. They will not take my bets or my money because they know that I am mathematically guaranteed to make a profit over the long run, and they do not want me as a customer. And if you're watching somebody on YouTube or Instagram, etc., and they cannot show you this, they cannot show you that they are limited to $5 per slip, they are not actually a profitable sports bettor. One of the most fun and most profitable sports to bet on all of PrizePicks, which has their season very active and fully in swing right now, is none other than the WNBA. Yes, guys, the WNBA, women playing basketball. I know that sounds absolutely crazy, but you can get a huge edge on WNBA player props and make a very, very good side income betting on PrizePicks this WNBA season. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to find the WNBA props on PrizePicks that have the highest chance of hitting so that you can mathematically make a profit in the long run betting on WNBA player props. This is going to be one of my best videos in a long time, so make sure you guys watch to the end, pay attention and take notes because it's going to be a banger. Without further ado, let's get right into it. What is the ultimate goal of PrizePicks? The ultimate goal of PrizePicks is to choose the props that have the highest chance of hitting so that you can mathematically make money over the long term and hit as many slips as possible. Now, I know this sounds obvious, guys, but take a look at all these props. Not all of these props have the same chance of hitting. Some of these are more likely to go over, and some of these are more likely to go under. Some of these are more likely to hit, and some of these are less likely to hit. So that brings up the question, how are you supposed to know which of these are more likely to hit versus which ones are less likely to hit? And in order to figure this out, we're going to be using a strategy called line comparison. Line comparison is what every single professional and sharp sports bettor in the entire world does to get an edge and profit in the long run. PrizePicks is a fixed multiplier, fixed payout website. What exactly does that mean? It means that you can make a slip with any props and it will pay the exact same, regardless of who's in the slip and whether you choose over or under. I can take Caitlin Clark over her points and Angel Reese under rebounds, and as you can see, this is a 3x. I can switch it to more and less, and look, it is still a 3x. I can take out Angel Reese and I can put in Alicia Gray over PRA, and look, it is still a 3x. I can change this to less and it is still a 3x. So if we're getting the same exact payout on every type of slip, we want to optimize our chances of winning by choosing the props that have the highest chance of hitting. Line comparison is dead simple. We are going to compare the lines on PrizePicks to a sharp sportsbook to see where PrizePicks has mispriced their lines and are offering props that have a high chance of hitting. Now, I know some of you guys might be a little bit confused about this whole line comparison thing, like what is he talking about? What is a sharp sportsbook? So to ease this confusion, we're going to do a very basic example, so simple that a second grader could understand it. Basically, we're going to go to a sportsbook that is known for having very accurate odds. In this case, it's FanDuel with WNBA props. We're going to look at which props are heavily favored to either go over or under. So, simple example, let's look at one of the most popular props on PrizePicks right now, which is Caitlin Clark over or under 21.5 points. We're going to go over to the most popular sportsbook in the world, FanDuel.com, and we're going to look for Caitlin Clark's points. Here we see Caitlin Clark. We have her points line, 21.5. As you can see, the over is minus 113 and the under is minus 115. If you guys don't know what that means, these numbers are basically even, meaning it is about 50-50 whether Caitlin Clark goes over or under her points line. So this example would be a bad bet to take on PrizePicks because it is basically even and neither side is heavily favored to go over or under. So Caitlin Clark points, throw this prop out the window, don't even take the over or the under, just skip it. Instead, what we want to find is where one side is favored to like minus 130, minus 140, and the other side is lower. So instead, let's look at this prop. Here we have Paige Bucker's over or under 6.5 assists. If we go over to FanDuel and we look at Paige Bucker's line for her assist, as you can see, the over is plus 104 and the under is minus 138. Compare this to Caitlin Clark, where the numbers are basically the same, minus 113 and minus 115. We can see that this Paige Bucker's under on assists has a much bigger edge. This is because the larger the number here, the more favored it is to hit. So Paige Bucker's is heavily favored to go under assist on FanDuel, which is a completely different sportsbook than PrizePicks. These two websites do not communicate their odds with each other. They're completely different. But the difference is FanDuel, they have these actual numbers that tell you which one is more likely to hit. And you can use this information to find heavily favored props on PrizePicks and other websites. This is a strategy called plus EV betting. Now, I know a lot of you guys have probably heard the term plus EV betting. Maybe you didn't know what it means. It basically means you are using mathematics and statistics to find the best possible bets instead of using your personal opinion or what you think is going to happen. So Paige Bucker's under 6.5 assists is going to be a great prop to play on PrizePicks. Let's look at another example of a profitable prop versus a not profitable prop. Here we have Marina Mabrey's line for her rebounds, which is set at 4.5. If we go over to FanDuel, which like I said is a sharp sportsbook for WNBA props, we see that Marina Mabrey's line of 4.5 is minus 114 and minus 114 for the over and the under. As you can see, these two numbers are very close to each other, meaning it is basically 50-50 whether she goes over or under 4.5 rebounds. And guys, when I say 50-50, this is determined by the Sportsbooks algorithms. FanDuel is a multi-billion-dollar company. They have some of the smartest people in the world working for them, and they have some of the most advanced algorithms for predicting how players are going to perform in games. For 20 plus years, they have been modeling, they have been doing advanced analytics and predicting how many rebounds, points, PRAs, turnovers, steals, blocks that players are going to have in games. And that is why we use their information as a trusted source to compare props to PrizePicks. Like I said, guys, FanDuel and PrizePicks, they do not work together. They are completely different companies. So what we are doing is we are looking for line discrepancies where something is highly favored on FanDuel, but they don't account for that on PrizePicks. So Marina Mabrey over under rebounds. This is not a good play on PrizePicks. You would want to skip this. Here is an example of an actual profitable play on PrizePicks. If we go over to points and assists, we go down to Ryan Howard, points and assists, we see that her line is set to 22. If we go over to FanDuel and we find this same exact prop, we see that Ryan Howard's line for points and assists, first of all, there's a line discrepancy. It is set to 21.5 on FanDuel. On PrizePicks, it's set to 22. But we can also see that the under is heavily favored here. The under is minus 130, while the over is minus 102. So this is literally FanDuel saying, hey, we think that Ryan Howard is more likely to go under her points and assists tonight. And they show this by making one side heavily favored, aka minus 130. So this would be a great opportunity to take the under on points and assists for Ryan Howard tonight. So this is the line comparison, aka plus EV betting strategy. We found this prop on PrizePicks, Ryan Howard, 22.5 points and assists. We went over to FanDuel. We saw that there is a line discrepancy. Instead, on FanDuel, it's even lower at 21.5. And the under is heavily favored, meaning this is a great play to play on PrizePicks. These are the results in just the last week of using the line comparison strategy. I am averaging around a 55 to 60% hit rate on WNBA and NBA props, as well as around 60% on NFL when it's in season. Obviously, you're not always going to get that 4 out of 4, that 5 out of 5, that 6 out of 6, that 3 out of 3. But when you have a hit rate that is this high, it is mathematically guaranteed that you make money in the long run. Now, how can I say such a bold claim? How can I say that it is guaranteed? And that brings us to our next topic, the most important topic of this video, and that is the concept of break-even odds, or implied percentage. Now, some of you guys might know that not every slip type on PrizePicks is made equally. Some slip types are optimal and good and you want to be using them, and some slip types are bad and non-optimal and you don't want to be using them because they have bad value in the long term. Each individual slip type on PrizePicks has what are called break-even or implied odds, which is the percent of your individual props that you need to get correct over the long run in order to break even. The lower the number, the better. So, guys, if we look at the two-man power, the two-man power is actually one of the worst slip types on PrizePicks because with the two-man power, you need to get about 57.63% of your individual props over the long run correct in order to break even. Now, like I said, guys, earlier in the video, pretty much everything on PrizePicks is set by the line makers to be about 50-50. Now, this is how they get you. If they're setting these props to be about 50-50 and they're really good at their job, but you need to get 57% of your props over the long run to break even, that means you are mathematically guaranteed to lose money over the long run, and you are playing slips that have a negative expected value, aka negative EV. Now, let's look at the three-man power. If you guys didn't know, PrizePicks, they actually just made a huge change about a couple weeks ago, and they switched a three-man power from 5x to 6x. Here's a tweet where they just announced it. This was on June 2nd, 16 days ago. They say payout multipliers just got bigger and better for 3 and 4 pick lineups. A 4 out of 4 on a 4 pick flex has been changed from a 5x to a 6x. A 3 out of 3 on a 3-man power has been changed from a 5x to a 6x. So now, guys, 3-man powers are really good. Now that they are 6x, you only need to get 54.95% of your individual props correct over the long run in order to break even. The 3-man flex is the worst type of slip on PrizePicks. You need to get a whopping almost 58% of your individual props correct over the long run in order to just break even. You never, ever want to use a 3-man flex ever. Going on to the 4-man power. A 4-man power is pretty decent. You have to get about 56% of your individual props correct over the long run in order to break even. A 4-man power is good for using correlation slips. As you guys know, I made a bunch of money using the correlation method on PrizePicks, and I used a bunch of 4-man powers. If you don't know what correlation means, you can go check out my videos on PrizePicks correlation, but I'm not going to get into that in this video. Going on to the 4-man flex. Like I just said, guys, PrizePicks, they made a change to the 4-man flex. It is now a 6x instead of a 5x if you get all 4 correct. So now, guys, the 4-man flex technically is actually better than the 4-man power. It has the same exact implied odds as the 3-man power. You need to get about 55% of your individual props correct over the long run in order to break even. Now, going on to what is technically the most profitable slip type on PrizePicks, we have the 5-man flex and the 6-man flex. These have always been, going by the math, the most profitable slip type on PrizePicks, and this has not changed even with the addition of these new payouts. With a 5-man flex and a 6-man flex, you only need to get 54.34% of your individual props correct over the long run in order to break even. That means if you are hitting 55% of your props and only playing 5-man flex and 6-man flex, over hundreds of slips, you will come out profitable in the long run. Now, I need to emphasize that, guys, this is a long-term strategy. Sports betting is a long-term strategy. You cannot expect to put in 10 slips and profit right off the bat. You might get lucky and you might do that, but you need to play a lot of slips in order to recognize your edge. Some slips are going to go 3 out of 5. Some are going to go 2 out of 5. Some are going to go 4 out of 5. And some are going to go 5 out of 5. But going by the math, you will be profitable and you will be up in the long run playing the correct slip types and using plus EV profitable props that you find through line shopping and line comparison. We're going to close this out with the 5-man power and the 6-man power. The 5-man power and the 6-man power actually have pretty good implied odds. You need to get around 55% of your individual props correct over the long run in order to break even. The thing about the 5-man power and the 6-man power is that there's a lot of variance. So the 6-man power, I believe, is a 37.5x. So you only need to get 1 out of 37.5 slips correct in order to break even over the long run. So there's going to be a lot of variance. So for most people, a 5-man flex and a 6-man flex are going to be more suitable. I'm going to show you guys one more example of what is a good prop on PrizePicks and what is a bad prop on PrizePicks. Here under the PGA tab, getting away from WNBA for a second, to show you guys that you can do this with any sport, we have Maverick McNeely's line of birdies or better at 4.5. If we go over to FanDuel and we look at Maverick McNeely's line, we see that the under is minus 125 and the over is minus 105. Now, these numbers are pretty close together. It's not like one is minus 140 and the other one is plus 100. These numbers are pretty tight, meaning there is basically no edge to this prop, and you would not want to take this prop at all. But let's say we look at a different player like Patrick Cantlay. Let's look at his birdies or better. If we go over to FanDuel, we see that the under is plus 100 and the over is minus 140. This is FanDuel saying we think that the over is highly favored and we think Patrick Cantlay is more likely to go over 4.5 birdies. So we would go back to PrizePicks and we would choose over 4.5 birdies or better. And if you use props like this inside of the optimal slip types, it is mathematically guaranteed that you will make profit over the long run. This is the definition of plus EV betting. We are using odds and statistics rather than our personal feelings and opinions in order to make money. Now guys, please make sure you pay attention to what I'm about to say. This is very important. Just because something is highly favored to hit, it does not mean that it is guaranteed. It means it has a very small edge above what you need it to be. In order to be profitable on PrizePicks, like I just showed you guys, you have to hit above around 55%. So just because something is minus 140, please do not think it is guaranteed. Do not think it is a 70% chance to hit. Most of these props that we're finding are around 55 to 56% chance to hit, which is all you need over the long run in order to make money. A 3-man power is a 6x, meaning you only need to hit 1 out of 6 of these slips in order to break even in the long run. A 4-man power is a 10x, meaning you only need to hit 1 out of 10 of these slips, which is 10%, yes, 10% of these slips in order to be profitable over the long run. So please get it through your head that this is not a guaranteed thing just because something is minus 140. It means it has a very small edge that compounds into a big edge over the long run, which is what 99% of sports bettors do, and 99% of sports bettors actually lose money. Now, I know what you guys might be thinking. This looks like a lot of work. How in the world am I going to find the most profitable props by comparing these lines to FanDuel? This would literally take hours. And you guys would be correct. That is why you don't do this by hand. No sports bettor in the world who makes money does this by hand. They use what is called a sports betting optimizer. There's actually a tool that I hand built by myself that finds the most profitable plays on PrizePicks, and that is called the Beat the Sportsbooks Discord. Inside of my very own Discord server, I built a tool that scans these sportsbooks like FanDuel, Caesars, and Pinnacle that have sharp odds to find the plays that are the most heavily favored to go over or under on PrizePicks. It then lays out all these props in a spreadsheet-like format and updates every 30 seconds. Here we can see that one of the most profitable props right now is Sabrina Ionescu over 26.5 points, rebounds, and assists. As we can see, the line on FanDuel is 28.5, 2 whole points above the line of 26.5 on PrizePicks. If we look on Caesars, we can see that Caesars has the over heavily favored at minus 145 compared to the under at plus 115. Thus, this is a very profitable prop that we would want to use on PrizePicks. Next, we have Caitlin Clark to go under 26.5 points and assists. The line is an entire point below on FanDuel, which actually gives you a very big edge, and the under is favored as well. If we look on Caesars, the under 26.5 is also heavily favored at minus 145. Finally, next we have an MLB prop, Brooks Lee to go over 0.5 hits. If we look on BetOnline, DraftKings, and Caesars, we can see that all three of these books have the over at minus 149, minus 150, and minus 140 respectively. This gives you a huge edge, and this is a prop that you would want to use on PrizePicks inside of an optimal slip type, like a 3-man power or a 4-man flex, 5-man power, whatever you want to do. I'm very excited to be sharing this tool with you guys. I've been building this and refining this for almost 6 months now, and I firmly believe it is one of the most profitable and perfect PrizePicks optimizers on the entire planet. Here's what's even better. Not only do I have this optimizer for PrizePicks, but I also built it for Underdog Fantasy, Better, and Dabble. 3 more DFS sites that also have very profitable and exploitable lines. Here's exactly how to read the tool. Over here we have the player info. This is just the name of the player. Here we have the bet details, which is the actual line that you're looking for, either assists or strokes, points and rebounds, etc. Over here we have the value, which is basically what % chance does this bet have of hitting. Now, these values tend to be a little bit conservative. I would say that they're a little bit higher than it actually says. So for example, if it says 56.5, you would want to round that up to around 57%. Or if something says like 54.4 or 54.6%, you would want to round that up to around 55. And then over here, it shows exactly what the line on a sportsbook is. As you can see, for example, Kayla Thornton to go under 22.5 points and rebounds. Here it shows the line on FanDuel. The line is 21.5, so it's 0.5 lower, and it has the under heavily favored. Here's another great example. Clay Holmes to go over 16.5 pitcher outs. On DraftKings, as you can see right here, it is over 16.5 at minus 140. The over is heavily favored. And then as you can see on Caesars, they actually had the line one hole out higher at 17.5. And this play has around a 56% chance of hitting. Literally all that you have to do is read the props off of this PrizePicks feed, put them into the optimal slip types, and watch your profit grow over time. Remember guys, this is the same exact strategy that combined with some correlation strategies got me banned on PrizePicks and no longer be able to bet more than $5 per slip, $25 per day. In the Discord, we not only have the PrizePicks feed, but we have the PrizePicks VIP channel right here, which is where me and 2 other professional, sharp, vetted sports bettors drop our personal PrizePicks plays that you're not gonna find on an optimizer all the time. There are some serious edges out there in sports like tennis and baseball that we are experts on, and we put our personal plays so that you guys can tail them inside of this PrizePicks VIP channel. Just yesterday, our tennis capper hit a 25x, turning $47 into $1,179. And right before that, he hit a 6x, turning his $35 into $210. We are hitting tennis props at around a 60% rate, which I guarantee is top 1% in the entire world for a capper on PrizePicks. Not only that, but we also have baseball correlation where we are hitting 30x, 20x, 10x slips every single week. Just yesterday, we hit 2 30x's in the MLB, playing MLB correlation. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. This is really cool and all, but how much does this cost? I'm going to give you the opportunity to get into the Discord for completely free. Yes, that is right, completely free. I want you guys to experience how profitable and how helpful our community can be before you decide to purchase it up front. Which is why if you go down to the first 2 links in the description, I'm going to show you guys how to get either a free 3-day trial or a free 2-month trial, which the 2 months is arguably a much better deal. But first, the free 3-day trial. If you go down to the first link in the description, click on the WAP link and you hit join, you can get a free 3-day trial. Or you can go down to the second link in the description and it will show you how to get 2 months free of the VIP Discord, the PrizePicks feed, the Underdog feed, the Better feed, the Dabble feed, and all of the personal VIP PrizePicks plays. And to get either 1 month or 2 month free, all you have to do is either sign up for Better Picks and use my code DerekBets to sign up, deposit at least $10, and then place a bet and send me the screenshot. Or you can sign up for the app Sleeper Picks. Both of these are very popular sports betting apps. You can sign up for Sleeper Picks, use my promo code Derek on the deposit screen, and deposit at least $10, and just send me the screenshot. Both of these things will take literally less than 5 minutes. If you do this and you send me the screenshot on Discord, my Discord name is going to be in the description. I will give you a month free for each app that you do. Or if you don't want to do that, you can just go to the normal WAP link, join the Discord, get a free 3-day trial, no questions asked. If you made it to the end of the video, you now have all the tools available to you to be a profitable sports bettor on PrizePicks, and there are no excuses. There are people that are absolutely killing this app every single month, like me and my team. And if you want to join the winning squad, go ahead and get a free trial down below. Here's a quick 30-second rundown of the Discord. Here we have the wins channel, and these are going to be slips that I personally sent out that won. This is where I show off. The other day we hit for 12x, 2 6x's. We hit a 7.8x. We hit multiple 3x's on Sleeper and Better. We had 3 slips out of 4 go green for 12x on Better, and much more. Here we have the winning slips channel. This is where you show off either official or personal wins, and we celebrate our green. Here we have the PrizePicks VIP channel where me and my 2 other professional sports bettors drop our personal PrizePicks plays. Here we have baseball VIP, which is where the baseball correlation slips are posted. And here's the VIP chat where you can talk to all of the members. If you guys have any questions about anything, or you want to send your screenshot of successful deposit using my promo code, I'm going to put my email and my Discord username right here. I prefer you contact me through Discord, but you can also use email. My email address is beatthesportsbooks@gmail.com, and my Discord username is DerekBets. All right, that's going to do it for me, guys. Hope to see you guys in the Discord, and thank you for watching. Cheers.